Hello, hello, hello. Oh, my Zoom is huge on that phone. We have some updated stream stuff. For one, I realized there's no need for y'all to see the white wall behind me. And then also we have the Something Special Games branding shifted over. I run both the DevHouse studio and the SSG studio. SSG though is the brand that makes original games. DevHouse is like a external development partner, so other game studios hire DevHouse. So for this being a game of mine and my team's own minds, it should really fall under the SSG brand. So updated that to Something Special Games. Also, we have little raccoon friends now wandering around on the stream. So just started using stream avatars. These little characters at the bottom. We see the DevHouse character here, which actually I kind of like now that the branding is SSG, that we have a DevHouse raccoon that is here as a friend. Support raccoon. Emotional support raccoon. Yeah, so that's fun. New stuff. Also in the game, we have some new stuff. I can't recall if the last stream we had the multi-directional gravity, and you can see now there are two. I'm trying to like shrink this. There are two. No, don't go away entirely. Different zones that one can launch their raccoon friends from. And the device now has some new usability improvements. So if I go into it, it's not connected to the main game, so don't expect anything to happen on the main screen. But on this little phone device, this little simulator, tells you the current raccoon you are controlling. And then if I click into one of these spots, it highlights. That's nothing new. But then down here, when you notice we cannot release our raccoon yet. We have not selected a skill. But when I pick a skill, it is now colored the appropriate color for the specific thief / heist person that you would like. And it is now using an actual like proper reference. I have a single reference for where color's at. Before I was doing really bad things and like copying and pasting that everywhere. But now it is a central source of truth. Human was part of because this all reads from an enum, and so like human is one of the things that you could be at one point as a competitor against sort of like a PvP against the raccoons. It's in here because we're reading directly from the enum. I'm thinking it might be kind of fun to have something like this. Maybe not human, because it'd be kind of weird that humans like outside, like running with the raccoons. But like, what if it was like I don't know if spy is the right word, but like someone who's just like kind of a jerk and is going to like mess up the other raccoons, right? It's like in the heist, you have the one that's kind of like turns out to not be really who they said they were. They're kind of a bad guy, or they're undercover agent or something. And so that'd be kind of interesting. You could like sort of detrimentally affect the other raccoons you're playing with. I kind of like that idea. So we might rename this human to something else. Like maybe pet. Pet could be funny. Like you're the pet raccoon. But yeah, definitely. Oh, I just realized my chat window's not open. So if anyone's been chatting, I've not seen it. Let me pop that back open. OBS, be my friend. Why are you not responding to me? One sec, y'all. OBS is just like literally not letting me click on it. I can click on every other window except OBS. Okay, there we go. I can at least click on it. It has recovered to some extent. Let's do view chat. I know last time. Okay, that worked. Sweet. Okay, so yeah, if you were chatting, I don't know if Restream requires me to like have that chat window open. It probably doesn't, but it's there now. Anyway, so yeah, getting back to our classes. So yeah, you pick your class, and then once you go off of none, you can pick. Now, if you go back to none, you can still release. I don't know what benefit none would have. Maybe I don't allow that to be there. But yeah, and then you would release raccoon. You would then see the raccoon run into the play space, do its thing, and you'll notice now I cannot click things anymore. And before that was a thing I had to verbally explain to people, like, hey, people playing this game with me as internal playtesters, please use the app this way. And which is okay, but like it's distracting. Now you can't mess, and like people would forget and be like, oh, I pressed that and now it's broken. So you can't do that. You'll notice we're still on one. So in theory, you're watching raccoon number one. Maybe we have like fun names or something, running around the house doing it, Steven. And then if you're like, either they finish, like they get out of the course, or they're stuck and they're just kind of stuck in the house, or you're like wanting to go flying. You're like, all right, I don't care about that one. On to the next one. You hit raccoon, and then you can see one is expended. We are on now raccoon number 2. And then once again, we select our starting location, select our skill, and release. So, and we just can keep doing this for all the raccoons. And you'll notice on the last one, you cannot next raccoon because there's only 4. So yeah, so pretty happy with that. I'm happy that that is now mostly... I was gonna say idiot proof, but that sounds like kind of offensive, like people who made mistakes are idiots, but no, it was the designer fault on that it was like easy to be confused. So now it's like it kind of doesn't have weird edge cases that it's hard to use. It's not pretty or like super exciting, but at least it's like very functional now, which I'm happy about. Okay, so that was done. Like I said, we have the multi-directions. I think I killed my ability to debug test the main scene. Like I have to actually connect players. So I think actually that might be the first thing we do here on the stream today, is that we need to get an ability to, without going over connecting 2 instances of Unity, where I can just like drop a bunch of marbles in and test out the level for like a change I made. Before we had like permanently 6 players in the scene, and when you connected a user over the network, it would just find its correct avatar. But now, because each player has 4 avatars, it was just going to be really sloppy and messy to have 16 or more, because there can be a kind of up to 6 players right now. So yeah, that would have been like a ton of just game objects, like trying to find the right one, and like, well, which raccoon am I controlling now? Is it my first raccoon or my second raccoon? Would have been really messy. So now we spawn the raccoons in, which is the way we should have been always doing it. But that means there's no players in the scene right now. So let's make like a debug script or something to launch some fake friends in here. So thinking through that, I mean, I'm trying to think if I want to make that as like entirely separate a script with like a lot of parameters. I kind of think I do. The risk there is if it needs to talk to a bunch of other systems, it could get messy, but let's just see how it goes. I'm trying to like gradually de-spaghetti this code, even though it's prototype code and will be thrown away. I'm having trouble making rapid improvements because I'm just running into like so many weird bugs, and also when people play test this thing, they are getting distracted by the bugs, even though they know like it's going to be buggy. They like end up reporting the bugs, like, hey, this is happening, and then I have to say, yeah, no, that's like a known bug, don't worry about it. And so it distracts them from looking for what I actually care about them looking for. Okay, let's hop back over to Unity. If I can click, okay, there we go. Yeah, so let me see. Let's make sure we are posted. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, so we need to make a new script. We're gonna put it in here. Actually, no, we're not gonna put it in there. That seems empty. So I've been really, really bad about organization here. There's like everything's in this gameplay script folder, but I don't really ever navigate to scripts that way, so it's not like a huge deal for me usability wise. I normally always search them by name, or find them in the scene and double click on them, so not a huge deal. And there's a bunch of like old, just like foundational code stuff that we don't even use in this particular project in various folders. So we'll call this, what should we call this? Like debug network player. I don't know if I like that. Let's call it fake network player spawner. Sure. I don't like the word fake, but also debug, I don't think also tells the right story. I feel like I should call it something else. Ooh, can the raccoons jump? I can't remember if we have that. Let's see. Jump. Oh, I'm also, yay, he does jump. Sweet. So we're working on those little sprites and making animations for them and whatnot. We're just going to keep jumping. Does he stop at some point? We'll trust that he'll stop eventually. He's just blinking wildly. He's a very blinky guy. It's allergy season. Okay. Okay, so going to also like my hierarchy is super disorganized, so I'm actually also going to start taking an effort to like put things in places that I would actually want for a more long-term project. Again, just for my own usability. Like when this project was very small, it was fine to like be very bad about breaking the rules. Now I kind of want a happy medium. Like I want to follow most of my own rules, but maybe not worry so much about scalability. So like when I write code, like the architecture doesn't have to be super strong, but strong enough that like it's not going to confuse me in a few days or a week from now when I'm looking at it. Or more important, like it doesn't cause me slowdowns. Okay, we are dropping in a new game object. So this is like a thing I like to do. This is called host game logic. Oh yeah, actually we can just do this. That's kind of like a given because this is host game scene. So whatever. We'll just store stuff in here. So we're gonna make a empty game object, and we're gonna call it fake network player manager. And then and what's nice about this is like now, like I don't have to find some obscure game object this is on. Like it's in a logic folder, and it's just has this transform, and it just is going to have logic related to that. So it's a little easier to find. It does mean you have to make more references because you're not putting it directly on the object. I'll break my own rule there when it's something like make an object spin or something. It's like sometimes it's like just makes more sense to throw it on that object. Okay. I already forgot what this is called. It's like fake. There we go. Fake network spawner. As it slowly opens Visual Studio. Let's make this bigger. Okay. All right. So what do we need to do here? Oh, and also I want to make sure that I have the right things posted. Okay, so we're good on Discord. Let me make sure that means it should be live on the thing because I think Discord reads. It does. Okay, cool. So we'll minimize that. And okay. So fake network player spawner. So we should have something like how many players we want to spawn. So int number of players. I think that's good. I think we should also grab the prefab of the game of the player game object player prefab. Part of me is wondering if I should identify a debug player differently than I identify a regular player. I can see that maybe causing potential issues, like maybe a separate prefab. But I also don't know how often I'll ever have like debug players and regular players in at the same time. That seems pretty rare. So let's not worry about that now. This is a good example of like where I'm not going to maybe over engineer something. Like right now, I think I'll either have debug players or not. So let's just not differentiate those from right now. For right now. Okay, so we have our player. We have numbers. So let's have a function for like spawn players, and probably give that a type. Okay, and then we are going to do a for loop. I heard my dog scampering around behind me. Number of players. Oh, which also reminds me. Okay, cool. Making sure I didn't have any missed messages. Sometimes I'll leave my phone away for a long time, and then people are trying to reach me, and I don't know. Okay, so number of players. Let's do instantiate player prefab. It doesn't really matter where they go because we're going to move them pretty fast. I think we'd want -1, right? Or better yet, this is cleaner. Start at 1. I think that will be right. I always struggle with this. I don't like, no matter how many times I write a for loop, I never know in these kind of cases if I like want to do that or that. But I think we can just test it. Okay, so we're going to instantiate them. Seeking out my dog. I hear him wandering. Okay, so we're going to instantiate them, and then we will want to move them somewhere. So I'm going to comment that for now. Move. Maybe I'll zoom in so you guys can see that easier as well. At least for me, like I have kind of bad eyesight, so even though I wear contacts and glasses and whatnot at all times, like I still need things like manually larger. Move to spawn point. Actually, you know, let's just make that its own function. Void move to random spawn point. Or maybe I'll shuffle. I'll rename it to like shuffle spawn positions. Okay. So we instantiate. We would then shuffle spawn positions, and in here we would say, I guess once again, because I'm debating if I want to assign the object in here. So we could like say move. I think I do. Move to random spawn position. So I'm going to do that on a per object basis instead, because then I don't have to keep looping through these guys. Move to random spawn position. And we should pass game object player to move. And we should be giving this a reference. New player equals that. And then now we can move new player to a new spawn position. Okay. And to do that, we need to get all of the spawn positions, which I'm trying to remember how we had before. I think they're a script called spawn position. Actually, now that I think about it, I did this somewhere else. Spawn is in here? No. Where are you hiding? Because I totally did this in another spawn point. Yeah, here we go. Spawn points. Populate spawn points. I'll just steal this. So we will populate spawn points on start. Okay. Oh, we need a list of spawn points, don't we? We don't need a private list. Spawn points. There we go. Nope. A new list. Probably is missing. So what system dot something? Oh geez, what is it? I'll let IntelliSense tell me what it needs to be. Systems dot collections dot generic. That's what it was. Okay, so we're spawning those. So we know they exist. So now we can just say. Now here, I'm thinking maybe we don't stack them. I'm kind of wondering if we shouldn't allow players to be on the same spot, which would require a change on the other side as well. So maybe I won't worry about that for now. That could be like an addition later, so we don't try to change too many things at once, because that's like a risk element of like you try to write 3 code changes all into the same testing loop, and then you're like, wait, something broke, and you don't know what broke. So we're gonna say player to move dot transform dot position equals, and then we would just say spawn points, but it wouldn't be 0. It would be random dot range. It always tries to do random range, even though that's been deprecated forever. Random dot range, and it'd be 0, and then the number. It'll be spawn points dot count, I think. Random range 0, comma points dot count. And then here's another case if I'm like, okay, I think this needs to be -1, but let's see if it's exclusive. So min inclusive, max exclusive. So in theory, it should not include the last. So this should be right. I swear though, I've seen like, even though it tells me that's exclusive, it still uses it, and then I get an out of range exception, but we will see. Now I could check to make sure spawn points exist. I am tired of getting random null refs, so let's do spawn points dot count is larger than 0. Is the only time this will happen, because if there's no spawn points, you can't move anywhere. Okay, so we populated spawn points at the beginning, which fills this list. There is always a small chance that this could go awry, being called twice. So we will clear it at the get-go, and then assign it, just to be sure whenever we populate, we're not stacking them. We spawn players in. Nothing actually does that currently. I don't think I want to keep assigning things to keyboard keys. I'm not. I think I would. Well, when I'm testing, I do have it full screen, so it might be more convenient. I'm gonna use Odin. Odin has a nice button feature. Using. I always forget who makes Odin. Shoot. Okay, we're gonna have to just search entire solution for Odin. Cyrenex. Okay. Okay, so now you can use Odin's nice little feature that you can use this button. I don't know, what do you call that when it's above a function? There's like some name for these. I forget what they're called. Button, and we'll call this spawn in. How does this work? Is it quotes? I can't remember how this works. Spawn in debug players. Yeah, what is the syntax for this? There's a way you can name this button. Is it here, maybe? Sweet. Okay. So that should work if I assign the player. Now it won't be able to do much more, but let's test that first. I'm really eager to get to the point where I can like actually start designing levels. Like we have this existing level here, but now that we have 2 directions the raccoons can come in from, it just doesn't work anymore. So like I'm eager to design that. But I need the functionality in first. We need to make it do things before we care about level. At least that's how I like to design. Okay, so I think we called our player prefab Raccoon player. Well, I've been using 6 players for all of our local testing, internal testing. So let's try that. If you are watching the stream and want your own little raccoon, if you type anything, I think in chat, it generates a raccoon with your name. Also noticing stream avatars goes below the logo. I don't know if I like that. Can I reorient? Yeah, there we go. Now they're on the top. But that's kind of cool. You could like have them go behind things. That'd be kind of fun to play with. Okay. I got distracted. Oh yeah, so now this should just work. But of course, things aren't always that easy. Okay, so yes, we got some null refs. I kind of like when I write new stuff, I kind of just expect that most of the time. Like, yep, I go fast. Probably something didn't work. So let's see. Oh, we don't have color in here? I thought I added that to all my scenes. Okay, let's fix this color thing because this is how we are defining colors. It comes from other scenes, but it's a what is it called? A singleton. So it'll remove itself if it finds a duplicate. So let's just make a new empty, and we'll call this color palette. And we will TH for trash heist. Now, we run into this, and this is why I really should have made this a scriptable object, because then it could have just been one existing in the project. But I will have to go in and do it this way, which is, again, not ideal, because if I change it on one, I might forget to change it on the other. And yeah, so that will be a thing I need to come back to at some point. Okay. So that's fixed, but that's probably not even remotely related to what went wrong. So when clicking on the error, it brings me to populate username. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I know that's not going to work. To just spawn the players in? Am I still running? Let me try the game. Maybe it was actually working okay, and I just saw some errors that weren't related. Let's see. Where is our button? Fake. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I think it worked. Yeah, okay. Okay, where's our players? Partially worked. So we have our players here. They're all, oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. They're all stacked on top of each other. So for whatever reason, it didn't move them. And now we're getting errors, but that's stuff like within the script that got spawned in. It shouldn't have affected our ability to move it. So let's look into this. Is it that spawn point count isn't getting properly? What I might do, just for the sake of being able to easily, well, I think I want to print. Let's get information here. So I guess let's make sure this runs by spawn point count is spawn point stock count. And that'll tell me two things. It'll tell me if this runs, and also it should tell me if this will work. Now we've assigned this player that we just instantiated to here. We're moving them global position to the global position of this particular spawn point. So I think it should work. The only reason it might not be working is if it's not calling this, or if for some reason spawn points aren't getting populated. So let's see about that. So now we want to see, okay, spawn point. Yeah, so it called 12. So we had 12 spawn points. So then why are all these players at the exact same position? Very peculiar. Hello, Kimchi. My dog's name is Kimchi. So then this is a fun part where I'm like, why work? So since this was printing 12, we absolutely should have came into this code block. So then the question is it not moving the right player? Can I not find this spawn point? Because I'm not getting like an out of range exception. So, so yeah, could not, there's 12 of these. Maybe for some reason, all of the spawn points are in the same position, which should not be right because, let me double check to make sure I'm not crazy, but the spawn points are these character dudes over here, these numbers. It's because they're determined by this. And yeah, it's position. I mean, it's a rect transform, but they are at different locations. Oh, speaking of my dog, he rang his bell to go outside. Be right back. Okay, I am Mick. Dog attended to. But yeah, each of these are at a different spawn. Like each of these should be a different location. But we're going to do some prints just to figure out what the heck is going on. I'm going to say spawn point position is... Oh, that isn't going to be helpful. We'll say int random index. Okay, so we will print the position. I think I also want to print the index. Spawn point index. Plus position Okay, so now we'll get the index, we'll get its position. And then I guess we want to get the player name. So spawn deck index 5 at position whatever. For player to move dot name. Okay, so that should tell us everything we need to know. All right, let's see what happens. I need to go into logic. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got spawn point index 8, which has this position for player. Oh, are they all named the same thing? That's not helpful. Okay. But we can see a few things from here, right? We can see that all of these positions are different. We can see all these indexes are valid, and it found the position. So then my thought is maybe something is overriding their position in their logic script, maybe? Because at least one of these players, let's see if any of them are at that position. Negative 70, 56. No. Negative 70, 56, 82. Yeah, none of those numbers match up. But it kind of makes me wonder where those numbers come from. Like, why is that not? That's kind of weird. They do have a rigid body. I suppose I could just do hit component rigid body move position. Do that. I'm skeptical that's it, but you technically aren't supposed to directly move rigid bodies through transform, so let's see if this helps any. Because I have had in the past like trying to hunt down weird bugs, and it's like, oh, that was it. That was a problem. But I'm skeptical. I don't think it'll work. But I'm hopeful just enough to try it. It worked. Okay. Of course, the time I'm like, it's not working, guys. And then it totally works. Yeah, you can see that they are spawned in. They obviously don't have names. So I think what I might do is maybe set their names to random and their class to random as well. Yeah. At some point, it might be smart that I would like be able to individually control these characters, so that way they could more easily be tweaked. So I specifically want this without, again, having a network. But again, for now, I think it's okay. So let's add in some more control though, or like more options. Not so much control, honestly. It's not a ton of control, but why is this public? You have no right being public, Mr. Function. Let's do randomize class. I think I want to start naming them skills. I think that's a better. I should probably learn to write code. Randomize skills. There we go. Okay, so randomizing their skills. We will go through each player, which I think I did. Yeah, we'll just do this nice little for loop. Go through every player. We're not instantiating this time though. We are going to say, oh, we need to find them. Okay, so I think what we might do is we might actually have a living list of the debug players. That way, once they're in, we can mess around with them. I'm going to use game object because I want, like, I guess upper level access to all the pieces. Okay, so we are going to do player debug player list. Oh, fake. Let's use the same terms, right? Fake player list. Cool. Okay, so now we have our fake player list. We will add to it whenever we instantiate a new character dot add new player. And just like we did it earlier, when we spawn players in, we are going to make sure that we clear that. We should probably also destroy the existing ones, but sometimes that can get a little messy trying to destroy things that are referenced in a list. So we'll just hope that we're not needing to keep spawning in multiple debug characters. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that because there's a imaginary world where I just hit the button twice. If I do this, it will break references. If I do this, it just means we should have more players. Okay, so we have our fake players. We move them to a random spawn position. Populate spawn has a beginning. I'm going to move this up closer to start. Okay. And then we need to randomize their skills. So we'll do a for each loop here because we have a player list. Fake player list. Fake player. So we want to say fake player dot get component play gyro movement. It's funny, it hasn't been gyro for like the longest time, but I just never renamed that class. Okay, so fake player gyro movement, and we are going to set. I think there's something that's like update skill, class maybe. So I can directly set their class, but I think I want to be able to like make sure their color updates and all that good stuff. So let's go into that script and see if we can make a function to do that, or just like make it public so I can do it from somewhere else. Oh, that's interesting. I could have probably just leveraged that because it's also public. I wonder if I should do that. That's fine. I'm trying to figure out why I would have turned this off. I think I would want that on. I'm passing a specific spawn. Okay, we're going to call this from here because it also updates their gravity, which is important. This seems odd that we would need to do this here because I'm not using spawn points anywhere. So let's do that. Let's go back over here and we are just going to totally wipe that out of here. And instead, we'll say fake player. New player dot component. Need to pass its spawn points. I guess we can do that. Okay, so now that should also update their gravity, which would be good. But we still need to update their skill. Oh, it's a node manager on their own script. I'm also looking if there's anything else. Yeah, nothing else important right now except the color. A lot of these are old functions I really want to rip out, but another time. So we populate username, which might come in handy, but this pulls from the network, so we wouldn't want to do that actually. In fact, let's sidetrack real quick and let's do a name. So I think we're gonna name this player new player dot name equals fake player. And then we would just give it like the index number, I guess. Should work. Okay, yeah, username, sure. So yeah, this color. Perfect. This is easy. I feel like this should also be something exposed, but I mean, it's 2 lines of code. I can live with pasting this in. I think I'll save a line of code by doing this, and then I can delete that. And I need player class, which comes from here, unfortunately, which means this is going to get real long. Let's maybe let's like store this. Player logic equals this. And then now we can just do player logic. Maybe we'll call this new player logic. And now we can replace that. And then we want this to be that dot player class. And yeah, that all looks fine to me. Let's see how that works. Wait, do I really have a ton of errors? Oh, I started to write this function that I never ultimately needed or used. Oh, but we are not setting the class. We're just simply setting the color to the class. So I think, yeah, actually, I think we do need that to exist. Let's pass along. Yeah, let's also have this be on a per player basis. So play gyro movement, make player logic, and now we won't do a for each. I did this. Okay, that was a problem. How do we set the class in here? I think we listen. Oh, literally right there. Oh, this is a callback though. I'm trying to decide. So there's not much value in making this public because I can't pass this argument outside of this event. So I'm deciding if I want to like put this in its own class. Let's see what we're really doing here. So we're saying what class we're supposed to change to, which is this. And then we change the color and then we change the name. So literally all we're doing is just updating the class directly and then changing the color and changing the name color to match that. So honestly, we could just do, yeah, we don't need any of that. You just do that manually here. Tempted, I don't even know if we're going to need this here. I guess we do have to make it random, but just for, let's like set one manually for practice. So player class equals player class dot scout, sure. And then we would want to update the color. So I think what we do is we move this, these things here. Handle color and name updates. So this would be here. And then, we don't have the game object, .game object, .name. Oh, that, okay. Maybe we won't do this down here. What is it? Oh, new player logic. Maybe I should keep that the same, right? I feel like that's a little confusing already. Oh, okay, hold on. So this should be fake player. So since that's all fake player related, let's keep all that together. And then once we get the fake player logic, there we go. Okay. So yeah, we're setting the scout, then we set the color. And then how did I get the name color as well? Player name.color. Player name is probably a TextMesh Pro reference. Yeah, it is. I don't have that reference. Oh, yeah, I could just do, I do, because, yeah, sorry. Thinking faster than my mouth is working. So we can do fake player logic dot player name. No, not player name dot color. I guess it would just be the same thing. Cool. Randomized skill. So it's not random. Right now I'm saying scout. So I think what I need to do now is I need to find a way to get a random thing, which I know how to do. We will do int random enum value equals random dot range. And this should be 0. And then it would be, I don't know if you can get count of an enum. It would be player class. Oh yeah, that is a challenge. How would we get the length? I mean, I could just look up how many there are, but that seems very breakable. Let me Google that, see if there's a way to get the quantity of an enum. Get names. Let's try this. Internet is telling me things. Okay, so then this would be player class. Sweet. Love it. Are you making me do this? Unity.engine. My God, this Stack Overflow is white and it's blinding me. Please hide. Okay. Oops, not Unity.engine. There we go. Okay, so we now have a random enum value. Now what we can do, I think we can do player class. Shoot, now I'm forgetting. Is it like, I know you cast it somehow, like almost like player class, something like that, but that is not right. Let's see. Get enum through int. I don't want it in value. I want the. Okay, is it like this? I don't think. Yeah, it's not like that. This. You get it. Get enum value. Through and int. Oh wait, it is just that, right? Okay, someone wrote that, but that doesn't work. Sorry, I'm reading. Oh, was it just? Cool. I figured that out actually by reading something that did it in a way simpler one-line way, which maybe I should copy instead of do my 3-line version. So they had it like this. So for mine, it would be player class, player class, player class. This would be Unity Engine. And interesting, they use Max. We don't seem to have that. That's fine. Okay, we'll just do it my way then. Okay, so that should get a random player class for this particular person. And then it should update their color and their name color. And I think actually, let's just make their name what their class is. I think. Like append their name, maybe. Name equals. So I'm appending it. I might regret this choice later, but let's see. Why don't you like that? Is it because I'm trying to do that? Oh, dot text. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so once I hit this button, if I can find my fake player, we should see some players pop in. I see one player popped in. Oh, okay. I see some null refs. So by we, I mean me, made a mistake. So the render, oh, duh. I don't know if you have to do game object. It seems like you don't. It's weird because that's a component, but okay, we'll try that. I want it to call it game object, but I'm also don't know for sure if there is a renderer on that level of raccoon. Let's see. So there's a renderer there. Yeah, I guess it does have a renderer right on the same object. All right, let's try that again. Go to this view with the confidence that it will just work. Okie dokie, I will hit my button. Hey, look at that. Okay, Love it. It says player, which is not especially helpful, but it does seem to match the colors. Now, if I were to hit that again, I'm pretty certain it would spawn in more. Yeah, we don't like that. I think I want a second button because that one spawns the players and moves them. I think I want another one that moves all players to a random position. So I can cycle them around. In fact, let's just expose each of these as its own thing. The challenge here, though, is that it's being used directly in here, so I might need to not do it that way. So yeah, let's make a pretty big change here. So we're going to do 4 each, and the collection we're going to use is fake players. And we'll call it fake player. And then we will grab all of this. Now, the downside is that, like, when we first spawn players in, we're looping through the players multiple times, but now I can call these individually, so I prefer that. I think that's a overall win. Okay, so we now have this game object here, so now we need player gyro. What is it called? Playback gyro. And we'll call this fake player logic. Equals fake player dot get component playback. Cool. And then that should just work. And then now here, we just do that. I think we also, oh, that's a nice benefit. We will have a private void, move, shuffle, player positions. And then this will use, again, our loop. And we will, once again, get their components. And we will then move them to a random position. And we'll give this a button as well. So this should be randomize player skills. And here we should go ahead and just return out if fake player list dot count equals 0, then just return. So that means we hit the wrong button and we tried to randomize our skills before we had a group of players. Okay, and then this will be shuffle player positions. Okay. And I think just to make this feel like it's important, we'll do that. I know it's a little bit more processing because now we have to get everything again, but that's okay. And then we don't need that. Okay, so for whatever reason, it is naming it. I only saw player. I didn't even see the word fake, which was kind of weird. And I didn't see a number. So what I want to do is I'm not going to name it here. We are going to name it entirely here. And we will call this, I'm trying to think of a way to make this feel random. not random, but unique. Unique. I want to like make sure I recognize the specific player. We had a random crew name script before. I don't know if I like that. I guess we could get the index of where they're at in the list, maybe? Can we do that? Position dot index. I don't know how to do that. Let me look that up. It's index position of a list item C#. That looks wild. It's for an array. Yeah, I don't like any of these. These are all pretty messy. What's another? Because we could get their array number. We could change this to a for loop, which would also solve it. Getting their class. I'm trying to think of something else unique about them. Let's just change to a for loop. This would be fake. That's not count. The downside is now we need to get, whenever we have that, we need to pass the index, which turns out it's only literally these two spots. So that's pretty great. And actually there, we just want that. I plus we would want, I think before the I would also want to put player I. Actually, let's just do P. Let's keep it kind of brief. So P1, P2, P3, whatever. In fact, we want to do a space, and then we would do their class. Now I'm nervous that this needs to start at 1, but I think that's okay. All right, let's see how it behaves. All right, we will first spawn in debug players. It didn't set their skills. Maybe I didn't call that. No, I sure did. So that is concerning. Why did it not run? We hit randomized skills. So everyone is becoming the same skill. Oh, okay. Let's look at let's look at my stupidity here. So we get the random value once, and then we pass that to every single one. So that's hilarious. Okay. So we will instead put that inside the loop here. So each time it will get a random value. So it was working. Hey, Doc. Working on a heist game. It is, the current art is all totally programmer art, just placeholder, intentionally keeping that separate. But you are raccoons working together to perform a heist. It is going to be a multiplayer game played either locally or over stream. And the idea is there's like a central view. Sorry, I totally just didn't see your message for a while. But yeah, then you kind of all work together with that central screen, and then you have your device, like your mobile device, and that's how you interact with the main screen. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's make sure this is working. But hopefully that made sense, Doc. I haven't really like practiced a proper pitch for this. I think last stream I even said like I probably need to figure out how I'm going to pitch this thing. Okay, I hit spawn and it did not work. So let's figure out what went on. Yeah, no luck. Nice. Well, that is what we're here to do, to show game dev. I think I'm about 2 months into development now on this particular project. Right now, it's in the pre-production phase, and it's a lot of experimenting and a lot of like throwing things out that just aren't very fun. YouTube videos. That's how I learned. Just a lot of YouTube videos. So like, maybe you'll pick some stuff up from this stream. Sweet. Appreciate the subscription. But yeah, maybe you'll pick some stuff up from this stream, but mostly what I did is like, I would fumble my way to do something like very first step on my project. And then I'd be like, and I've actually done it on this stream where I'm like, how do I do that again? And then I Google it and solve that one problem, and then work for like 10 more minutes and like, how do I do that? And then Google that and solve that. And so just brute forcing your way through game dev is like a great way to learn. So I bet you can figure out a clicker for sure. Okay, so this broke. Why did it break? Index was out of range. Which index? Let's see. You were out of range. That's new. That shouldn't have happened. All good. I'm still not great at it, but I've gotten okay at multitasking. I sometimes have to like look away from the stream chat now and again, but most of the time I can keep up. Mostly also because my stream is new, and so I don't have a lot of people in at any one given time. It's normally like 2 to 4 people in chat, so it's pretty chill. If it starts getting busy, I might get worse at multitasking. Okay, so I'm gonna just hit it again and just, kind of hope I get some more information on why this isn't working. So we're gonna spawn in players. It does seem like everyone's spawned in, which is encouraging, and I'm not getting, if we look at my debug, I am getting some errors, but I don't think they're related to any issues. It seems like it worked because it is random, so it is very possible that some players are stacked. You notice not everyone is stacked at the same spot, and they did spawn, so that's encouraging. I'm going to try to move them now, and this is where we might run into some stuff. Shuffle player position is a button I have. Okay, it's totally working now. So maybe I just didn't save the script or something weird, because yeah, I can totally shuffle their positions. I kind of feel like I want to... Not available on Steam yet. Really, really early days. I am hoping in the next maybe 2 to 4 weeks, I'm going to start playing with y'all here on the stream to get feedback. Having like sessions for some kind of like testing. We're aiming for August as far as a release, but it's kind of ambitious. So we will see. But anyone on my stream will be able to play it much sooner than that for sure, because it's meant to be played on stream as part of one of its like main ways to be engaged with. So this is working. That's cool. Every time I click, they move around. I don't love that they stack. I can randomize their skill, which is pretty cool. And then if I launch them, oh no, I don't have a launch button anymore. I don't think. Oh no, okay, it still works. Good. Spacebar. And we can see they all go a running through the course. Okay, cool. So it is kind of working. For sure, Doc. Yeah, no. If I'll definitely be having people test here on channel, and we do have a Discord. Let me see if I can find the link. You're tuning in from YouTube? Yeah, you should be able to see chat. Let me get the invite people. Discord. Oh, it won't let me do that. Sorry, one sec. For some reason, whenever I'm streaming, it doesn't like me copy and pasting my Discord invite, and every time I paste it, it pastes junk. But I think I have it written somewhere else. If I can find it. Ah, bummer. Well, for anyone who happens to come through, yeah, if you pass me your email, we don't have a what's it called, an email list yet, but that was on my to-do list that I want to set one up. We don't have like a set one. Yeah, mostly we've been like relying on Discord for gathering folks. But since you're subbed, I'll definitely be talking about things on here. So just keep an eye out for these channels, and you'll get the updates. All right, going back. Yeah, we do. That's a good call. That we totally need an email list. I'll make a note. Actually, I'll do that right now. I'll totally make a note. So I'm like the only person really working on this game right now, but I'm a part of a team that is on other projects that does help. And so I'm going to send to our marketing person that like, hey, you should set an email list. Scheduling that for not the weekend, so I'm not bothering people on the weekend. Hey, what's up, Val? I do. Yeah, no, I appreciate you noticing that too. Definitely like making some big changes. I can't wait for art to get in, because like I'm changing a lot here on the engineering side, and like the level design and visuals are kind of like supporting the functionality updates, but like I can't wait till you guys see the actual artists put the art in, because that is not me. I'm an engineer, and I'm good at the code stuff, not so great at the visuals. And no, Doc, yeah, you're good. We're nothing unsavory coming from these chats, these streams. Cool. All right, so we have our debug kind of working, but it's not great because like we get like overlaps of people. We had shuffle. Oh, and that's another interesting thing, is that there's no way to like really currently reset their momentum. So I need to clear. I need to have like a reset button. So let me make that now. I'm out of energy drink. Sad day. I get these like really big ones sometimes because they have the cap, and so I can just like drink small amounts when I need it. But it is now empty. Also, energy drinks are like not probably the best for you, so don't be like me. All right, I'm going to hop over to our code, and we are going to improve upon our debug. Okay, so we now have a way to shuffle their positions. We can shuffle their skills. I kind of want to upgrade the position to allow to like not overlap their position, so they'll all be in different unique spots. So the way we probably want to do that, how are we getting the node? Retail. I don't think I know retail. What is that PC? What or like is that a console game? We did, yeah. I had someone make me some little sprites. These little raccoons. There's only the one design right now, and they're a bunch of recolors. But eventually, I want to give them little outfits and work on kind of improved animations and like let them do different stuff. Uh, yeah, but those are totally little themed trash heist raccoons walking around. I think they can do like basic things, like I think jump. I think that makes my little guy jump. Yeah, but yeah, they're pretty basic right now. Okay, I'm going to pass through an optional index equals 0. Okay, so if we give it this, because right now we're getting random index, move to random spawn position. Do I have another one that says like move to like provided spawn position? It doesn't look like it. Okay. Okay, so if we're gonna just check. We're gonna say if spawn position optional spawn is 0, then we're going to go ahead and say random index is actually random. Oops, Jesus. Then random index is 0. Oops. Yeah, no, that's right. Cool. I mean, this would already equal 0, but whatever. Else, we'll say random node index equals that. Okay, so now what this does is this lets us either get a random spawn location, or if we choose to pass the value, we can like tell it which one to get, which we'll use in the other script shortly. And then now the random won't be necessarily random, and it should all just work. But now if we go back to our fake player, we are going to pass a specific one. And here what we need to do is we need to like track which ones are used, which is a little annoying, but not the hardest thing to do. So we'll just say list. Maybe we should make a dictionary, actually. Actually, in that case, instead of our spawn points being a list, they should probably be a dictionary instead. Well, downside to that is that yeah, that might be a lot. Just like it'll be cleaner, but it's just more work, and I don't want to set that work up right now. So we'll make a list of bools. Well, no, sorry. Trying to solve problems while I talk through my thinking. Okay, so we'll just there's a cleaner way to do this, but this is going to be a lot easier to like quickly. Oh, nice. Maybe the new Venom. I watched that in one of those like crazy 3D theater, not 3D, but like those theater seats that like move and stuff. It was intense for sure, but have fun. That should be cool. And also, thanks for the offer for pixel art. Okay, so we are going to let's see. We use spawn points. So every time we move someone to a spawn point, we are going to add that specific one. Because here we're just passing the full list. This is the number that we would be passing that we need to claim. Yeah, it's kind of this is gonna be a little bit of a weird way of doing it, but that's all right. Um, What's up, salesman? It is. Let me give you a better view. Called Trash Heist. So this game, you are performing a heist as a group of raccoons. Hence the little raccoons in the bottom there. It's going to have like a really cool. I need to have. Well, I guess you can see like some concept art if I click over to this. So it's going to have kind of like this like retro Saul Bass. If you've played Ape Out, kind of style to it. Right now we're just kind of in the design phase. But yeah, it's a multiplayer game. You're performing a heist. And right now I'm specifically working on just some debug tools so that way I can more easily like fake spawning a bunch of players in and launching them. Okay, so we have random spawn point. This is going to be random Unity engine because there's another random namespace. Random range. And this would be 0 through spawn points dot count. Sorry, having to like focus slightly on this one just because it's a little more complicated than some of the other stuff I've been writing. Okay, so now we have a random spawn point, and so we are going to pass that here. Now that is the actual spawn point, not its list value. So hold on just a second. I think we will remove that particular spawn point after we've sent it. And so I think because we remove it, now the count will reduce. And so it should only be sending things that have not been used before. And that means because we're sending this, we actually don't need to do that. I think that'll work. The risk here is that if there's still like empties, basically, they'll null ref when it tries to call them. But let's just see if that works. Okay, looks like it is compiling the scripts. All right, so we are now compiled and running. Let me try to hit spawn and debug players. Now, when I hit this button, if it works, they will all be at different spots. Nope. So we have some overlap. You can totally see purple and red are just stacked. So bummer. Okay. If we go back to here, though, we can see there was a argument out of range. It was here, though, which is kind of odd. And it looks like at least some of them are in the right place, but it didn't like this number. Which is odd. It makes me wonder what that value was. Hey, Disley. I'm wondering if that got... So first of all, we don't need that. We can just get rid of that entirely, we found out, and we can just clean this whole junk up a little bit. It would be funny if I just left it like that, because I think that would totally compile. It's just so... be so triggering. I'm going to write all my code that way from now. Okay, so... yeah, that got out of range, but I did change it now to where it can't be that default forced 0, so maybe that'll be okay. I'm skeptical. I feel like there's an issue with our fake player thing here. But let's just try to run it again now that we made that change. Just see what we end up with. Sometimes it's like kind of painful to work on this stuff because it's like it's just debug, but it's gonna like let me iterate a lot faster. So because I don't have to like actually connect network devices for all the players. Okay, so let me hit the little spawn button and okay, let's see what we got. It looks like maybe all 6 spawned in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 7. That's concerning. Okay. But then one player just didn't get a home. What would happen if we tried to shuffle? So it's spawning one too many players. Let's actually start with that. Let's look into that a little bit. Just because maybe that's like the core problem at its root. Number of players. Oh, what is my number of players? 6. Okay. So we only want 6. So this is starting at 1. That's odd. I would have thought if I'm starting at 1, we would have been good. -1, I guess. That seems odd. That like it seems like either that would have been 0 or -1 would have solved our problem. But let's just see if that spawns only 6. Make sure that I don't actually have players in the scene. Oh, I totally do. Okay. I just clicked into my scene and I saw like I have 2 players just chilling by default. So let's get rid of those. And then that means that actually this was probably right before. Actually, based on that, I was only 1 extra and I had 2 players. So I'm going to do that and see what happens. And that actually might fix some stuff. I'm very eager to get more characters in now that we've got a raccoons, but you don't get much personality because it's just different colors, and some people get to be the same color. So next week, I hope to get some more of these dudes. Okay, let's hit play, see what happens. All right, I'm going to spawn them in. They're still stacking really bad, but that's okay for now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is what I always struggle with this. Whenever I'm doing a for loop, I always struggle with like getting the exact thing right. So we're going to do less than or equal to and try that. See, because I typed in 6 players, so I wanted to iterate 6 times. I don't know why my brain just does not like for loops. Okay, let's see if we get a spawn in. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? 5 players? That seems wrong. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. But then if you look at my, especially since I changed that, like, we should have made it run one more time and set to 6. I am getting some null refs, but I can't imagine it would fail only on the last one. That seems unlikely. Oh yeah, and it's just the username that's failing, which is because it looks on the network. So like on instantiation, it tries to name it based on the name you have for the network. So that's why that's null refing. In fact, it should just whatever. That's fine. But I am bothered that. And why are you like way up here, dude? Like everyone else got a home. But like this guy is way up here for some reason. He's this player. And like looking through the order, he does seem to be the last one. So the issue I'm having is like twofold. One is my little fake network players that I'm trying to instantiate. I'm asking it for 6, but it's only making 5. And even though I keep messing with the loop that instantiates, that's still happening. The other problem I'm running into is they're not going to different spawn points. They're stacking here. And then this guy, he doesn't even go to one at all. So actually, I think that might give me a good hint at what is the problem, actually talking through it, because that makes me think it's trying to place that 5th guy, and it's like I can't, and because I can't, I'm gonna error out. I'm not seeing that in the debug logs, but I think that might be what's going on. So we're gonna investigate there. Okay, so let's start from spawning. We spawn people in. The thing I changed was I changed their movement, which was shuffle player position. We are iterating through their list. Oh, okay. I see a problem. Every single player that gets spawned, we shuffle the entire list of players and shuffle all of their skills. That should happen after we're done setting up the players. Because I previously had those where we were passing a single player, but now these get the full lists. That might fix it. And now we probably will have... Actually, yeah, I'm pretty confident that won't be right. So that might be right. We might have set that to 1, but let's see if we get 6 or 7 or 5 players. Okay, let's go ahead and hop back over. And if it's awesome, we'll see everyone in a unique spot. I'm not super confident in that, but I do think we won't have a floating player anymore. Is my gut. Okay, we'll hit the debug button that I made. Okay, sweet. So good news is if we hop into Unity, we don't see that floating guy up there anymore who couldn't find a home. Everyone found a home, which is awesome. And it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, which is the exact number that I wanted. So that bug is solved. Now, the other bug we still have, though, here is these 2 players are stacked. And I really want the randomization to not allow for 2 players to be on the same spot. So for whatever reason, that did not work. So let's look into that. Okay, so we spawn them in. In this portion, none of the, we're all putting them at 0, 0, 0 world space. And then here in shuffle position, this is where we actually move them. Okay, so now we go through every player that exists who have all been spawned. We get their logic component, which is what ultimately where their, where we do their movement. So we need that reference. And then we get a random spawn point. So we'll go through all of our spawn points, which I realized I see a potential problem because we're removing them from the list and then we never add them again. So I think, so I need to do a check on spawn point count. I say if spawn points dot count equals 0, when you call this, we need to populate it again. Or actually, maybe what I'll do is I will just clear it just to be extra, because what if it's like half empty or something? So let's do spawn points dot clear and then populate spawn points. So basically this time, every time we shuffle, it retrieves a fresh collection of spawn point references just to be safe. Because in here, once we get into the for loop, for each loop, we are going to be removing them. So we get a random spawn point. Whichever one that is, we need to remove it from the available lists. And then we pass it down. We then get another random one, but this one should no longer be available. and then we send it again. Let me see what this one does. Yeah, it takes the whole list. Yeah, that should totally work. Is this public moving? It is. I'm going to try to like directly call that. Move player to new node, and we're going to say random spawn point dot position transform dot position. Let's just see if we're directly calling it, if we'll have better luck. Now we don't get random, like the random's already happening here, so we really don't need to get random again. All right, we're going to spawn them in. Hey, they're all in unique spots. And then in theory, if I shuffle, it works. I love it when things work like they're supposed to. So every time I hit shuffle, you'll notice they're never at the they're never stacking on top of each other. So I can just experiment with different positions. It's not super finite. Like ideally, I would be able to like click and place someone, but I probably don't need that super bad. I can also randomize their skills. Let's see if this works. Yeah. So like, for example, right now, if I want to test this front door, I got a guy lined up perfectly. But if I didn't, I was like, I want a red one right there. I could basically shuffle until a red one was kind of aligned and then hit spacebar. Oops. Oh no, spacebar not work anymore. I swear I just did that like super recently. Oh no. Okay. I had to escape and I don't know what escape is doing, which is interesting. So if I hit escape again, shuffle, randomize skill. So here's a good example. Like he's set to none. I want him to be red. So I'm going to shuffle. Oops. I did positions. Darn it. Okay. He's purple. I want him red. I can just keep clicking until I get lucky. All right. And then space bar. Ooh, we had the gravity messed up there. I wonder if the shuffle position doesn't update the gravity now. Let's check that. Hey, Ultimate. Yes, it is Unity, which you can see better from this view. Okay, let's see where... I think that was maybe why I was doing some of the... Yeah, okay, so here's the problem is this just sets the rigid body. It does not update their gravity. So I need to find that. Because you can see like we have these two spawn zones and I'm using gravity to send them, like a forced gravity basically, to move them through. It's technically called constant force, but it's basically like a gravity override. I am, yes. So on Twitch, you can find me on two places. So the main studio working on this game is Something Special Games, and then the other studio that is kind of helping out. They're both mine. They just serve different purposes, but is Dev House. I think I can post them maybe in the chat if I can find the actual links handy. Let's do this one. Oh no, they just sent me to Restream. Here, I'll send you the Dev House one. That one's handy. So that's the Twitch Dev House. And then I think I can just search for something special. And then this is the something special. So feel free to like subscribe to either or both. I restream to all channels currently. I haven't found one tends to get more. The YouTube seems to be pretty, like today is stronger than than my Twitch channels. So it just depends. At some point, maybe I'll focus on one or the other, but you can find it on any one of those. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah, gravity. Yeah. I need to find where we update the gravity. So you can see here, move to spawn position, update gravity is at the bottom there. Now we're just directly moving them, so it's not happening. So I think I'm going to pass this from here. Maybe is this public? It is not. Because we have to pass the node index. Ultimate, like the final project goal is to create a cool multiplayer game, right? Targeting August of this year. Pretty ambitious, so we'll see if I hit that target. And it's going to be a fun heist game. It's sort of like inspired loosely by Jackbox games, where you kind of play with a bunch of people and you all have like a single screen you share, and then you have like your sort of private information on your mobile device. But currently, like my current goal, the thing I'm currently working on is pre-production. So just trying to make a fun game loop. I know like what type of game I want to make, but the details, if you try to, I found through game development, if you try to overplan it, it ends up you force a game that isn't very fun. And so like I'm experimenting with different mechanics, and I'm finally on a track that I think is going to lead me there to the final production path, but still in exploration phase right now. I see you, Doc. Okay, so hopping back over to our code, I'm going to try to call update. I'm going to make this public so I can try to call it from our spawn. So right now when we move the player, we need to also update their gravity. And now the question is do we have these values that are important? So this is supposed to be its node index and then the spawn point. So the spawn point we for sure have, which is random spawn point. But then the index, what does the index need to be? How do we use it? So that is the position we are going to, which really should be its value. Like it's whatever its index. Oh yeah, get identifier. Okay. Wait, are we using this anywhere? Yeah, we're not even using this. Like it's printed. But that's it. What a waste. Okay. And then this is going to scream at me, but yeah, we don't need that. Okay. And then now we can go back to here and we can do that. Appreciate it. See you, Ultimate. I always forget to put some kind of like time tracker. I should probably like have some sense of how long to make it so y'all aren't getting bored from ultra long streams. I don't know what time I kicked off tonight though, but at least I tend to do it by like solving some feature. So I think getting this debug totally finished would be a good pausing point. Okay, and we're close. I think we're close. Let's get it. I think I also might start working on like at the onset of a stream, like setting a specific plan for that stream. Because right now I just kind of like hop in and I'm like, all right, what are we working on? Okay, so we think it will just work. So let's spawn the players in. This is a better view for y'all. Everyone's at their own spot, which is great. You can hit spacebar, it launched them, which is good. That was actually a pretty good combo of colors. Like, that went pretty well. We needed a red to make it further down. Oh yeah, the red opened it up. Sweet. So now we got the blues going through there. Now pretend that these all become raccoons, right? So they're balls now, but like they'll be raccoons running around. Okay, that was a pretty good run, honestly. So now if I hit escape, it should put everyone back. Kind of, sort of, not really. I think it deleted. So let me... What if I hit spawn again? Okay, it did not like that. Yeah, okay, so it's not happy with that choice. I can't spawn them back in. Okay, I think that's what I need to do. I think when I click spawn, the spawn button in editor, which is this guy here, that works once, and then that's it. I think I need a reset button, or just if I click that again, it should just destroy everything and bring them back. I think I might have it destroy all the existing players and just make new ones. I think that's what I'll have it do. So it's like basically every run is like a fresh run this way. Okay, so when we spawn players in, so I think the first thing we want to do is we want to fake. I want to destroy all the players, which can get messy. Let's see if we get lucky. As far as it not giving me a hard time. So for each item in fake player list, we want to do item.destroy, game object. No, that's not how it works. Sorry. It's destroy an item. I don't want to call it item. Let's call it player. I should be there. Yeah. Okay, so we destroy player dot game object. I don't know if these might already be game objects, but that's safer. Okay, so we destroy it. So every player is destroyed. Is there anything else? The spawn points are already taken care of. I guess then we just want to clear the list. And then fake player list dot clear. I'm hoping that's okay. The concern here is that we are looping through while we are destroying, which I've just seen not go well, but let's double check. Let's make sure it actually does throw an error before we try to write around it. Okay, so the first time we hit it, it's always great. I will launch, and then let's hit it again. I don't think that there are any errors. It's hard to tell because I'm getting a bunch of other errors that are unrelated, but I mean, it seems like it totally is cool. Why did that? I think the skill concerning. So like that red dude should have totally opened the door. I'm going to hit escape and hit spawn and then randomize player skills. So you're red, so you should be able to go through this door. I couldn't tell if red or purple went through there. We'll assume that was red. Okay, so this is a good case of like, all right, I want to move everyone back. So I'm going to hit escape moves, puts back the doors, which is helpful. We can see not every player came back. So then I'll hit spawn and deplug players. Again, we have a red. I'm hoping that this works. It does not. That is unfortunate. Yeah, like they should be opening that wall for sure. It's okay. So if I hit randomize skills while they're in their spawn positions, see if that makes a difference. Okay, it does. So there's a bit of a workaround. It's kind of messy, but basically once I respawn them, I need to shuffle around their skills, and then that seems to fix it. I think it's really just hitting escape, which is what resets the doors, that breaks things. See, gray just opened that. That gray should not have opened that door. So something's still a little busted. Yeah, and red just opened. So like if I click on that dude, all right. Oh yeah, it even says their name. Grease Man is the name of yellow. Red is pickpocket. So something wonky is going on there. Randomize player skills. Yeah, see, that says Grease Man, but he's red. So for some reason, the Grease Man skill is also becoming red. I think actually that's the problem. So now he should open that one. Yeah, okay. So the bug is really a weird color bug, which I swear I fixed because all my colors should have a central location that they get their information from. Okay, anyway, I'm trying to think where that would be. So let's go to our code. We are setting the color here. We're getting the class color from fake player logic in both cases. So when I press the randomize skill button, that should be right because we're getting the component and then we're getting a random class value and then we're using our color palette. Let's double check our color palette, make sure we're not just crazy here. So yeah, Greaseman is yellow. You can see here. And it's getting the name right. So when we're printing, like it's calling the class properly. Fake player logic, player class to strain. But for whatever reason, Greaseman, there's our bug. Needs to be Greaseman. Well, that's cool. That was a pretty important bug to stumble upon. All the other ones look correct as far as I can tell. Thief, distraction. Sweet. Okay. It's nice when the bugs are pretty straightforward like that. So as far as I can tell, all I have to do is to, if I'm in here in my Unity instance, I can spawn in all the players. I can launch them. I current my launch button spacebar. Apparently, human can also open doors. Oh, actually, that is a known feature. The idea was like the human can go anywhere because they're like the human. So, and if I hit escape, it resets the doors, moves people back. But ultimately, I don't care. I just use it to reset the doors. But then I do spawn and debug players just to like refresh that. I can shuffle their position. I can randomize their skill. I want a red person at that door. That should work. Another human. I don't want to put a human there. Okay. So red should open this, and let's double check that. I swear green just opened that, but it was really close. Let me launch these guys, see if like can blue open it. Okay, so blue cannot open it, so that's good. Okay, so we have blue and green, so they should not be able to open that door. Okay, good. So it probably was just a really close. So yeah, no one here should open it except for red. Red opened it. Okay, I think we're good. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, I think we are in business with our debugs. So yeah, I can basically just like keep relaunching. It just kind of makes sense to tie it to a hotkey though. I also have the idea that like maybe every so often it just auto relaunches new balls if I want to like just kind of have it constantly running. Might be kind of nice. Almost, if nothing else, just for like streaming. So there's always interesting things to look at. Okay, let's see what's next on the list. If there's something small, I might knock out something small. Actually, I know there is. There's totally something small that would be good to knock out. So I want the entrances to be pretty predictable, so you can like line up with a door or a window. The yellows represent windows, reds represent doors. But then when you exit, I want it to be a lot more random. So we should extend these pegs out further for the exit. I should have set the floor to non-selectable before I did this, but it's all right. Okay, that looks like a fairly square selection range. Is that right? No, it should be like that. Okay, so I goofed a little because what I actually need is one more row here. Oh no, we're missing. Okay, it's fine. We will fill it in as we go. We need it roughly like that. Then we should add these. It's pretty loose anyway right now. Like these are not perfectly spaced, so I'm okay with kind of eyeballing it a little bit. Oh, I could just select it this way. That's way easier. Sometimes group select gives me a lot of trouble, so I just like never rely on it for this kind of stuff. Sweet. I think that would do it. It's a little weird that it's kind of over here. I think I might do that. So it's very clear that like this is the range. This is the area that you get randomized in. Being randomized sounds like a weird weapon. Okay, so then I will just take the same idea over here. I don't want that row. Nope, I want too many rows. I just want these two. Actually, if I do that and then do one more row, just take that whole chunk, and that is everything I need. Sweet. Okay. I think I want another one out here. Yeah, I like that. Almost is starting to have like a cool shape design too. Okay, so yeah, the idea is that when you exit, you go through all of those. So here's a good point where why I built that test script is because I can launch everybody and test what I just did. feel like I need lots of reds and yellows. Okay, well, let's just see let's see how this goes. Oh, yep, I need some blues. The nice thing about the escape button being the reset is I can actually not reset the doors if I don't want. Where's my blues? I really need some blues. Oh, I'm doing position, duh. Okay, some dark blues on this center. Cool. Okay, that got taken care of. Nice. Got some dark blues taken care of. Let's spawn in some more enemies or players. Let's just keep launching. Let's keep throwing them in. See if we can get some guys through. Actually, yeah, that's kind of fun. I can just it deletes the old one. So actually, yeah, that's not super viable. I can't keep throwing new ones in. All right, I think this yellow greaseman is going to make it through. Ah, so close. Is someone going to open a door? Oh, no, we need that blue thing taken care of still. So I kind of need... See this. I like the blue guy here. Maybe he'll clear that line if we're lucky. Okay, here we go. We can see how that plays out. So a lot of the times they're popping out and then going on the outside. So it seems like that might be an issue. So I think what I should probably do is I should probably put narrowing walls that like guide them in, which I do have somewhere there. I think I call them outer walls. Yeah, so they're there, but there's this huge gap. So maybe what I need to do is actually keep these visible. We'd have to change the color or something though, because they are hard as heck to see. Or maybe if not all of them, maybe just the ones that lead to the scoring points. Scoring points? Feels redundant. What I'm trying to decide is like looking at the game scene, which ones are like kind of visible. For some reason, I have the wrong one selected. That's why. Okay, I really want these two. So in fact, this one needs to go back off. What? I picked the wrong one again? What is going on? My brain tells me I picked the right ones, but my brain is incorrect. Yeah, those are the two I want. I think I need the other one also like way tighter though. Is it this one? There's the one I need to hide. I think it's this one. And then also this one, question no. There we go. Okay. So yeah, these two pink lines are kind of important. With that said, I don't know what I want to make them look like. Hey, we are trying to narrow these balls in a more visible way. We got these raccoons running who are currently in the shape of just spheres. And I want them to look like they kind of randomly plinko into these tracks. What happens most of the time is they're popping out to the side and almost always exiting out the corners. So I want to make sure that the walls are visible and then also that it's guiding them in. So I think we might have to like rework the wall layout, honestly. So it's tough because I don't want to like make it too restrictive. I wonder if we just get rid of one row because this lines up kind of nicely without that final row. Yep. Yeah. Build in a heist game. Let me here. I'll do a quick go hit play. So we're in early prototype phase, and so all the art is placeholder. And then if I hit go on the right button here, let's change their skills a little bit. And then pretend those are little raccoons because they're raccoons performing heists, and they run into the house or wherever you're heisting from and create havoc and steal things and get points and all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, all the art, like we have this new thing we're trying where we are. So I work with a team right now. I'm the only engineer on the project, but the team philosophy is that the prototype phase, engineering is not allowed to use any art that looks pretty because we don't want to accidentally confuse fun mechanics with just something feeling cool. And so we want to like feel really good and be like, this is so much fun, and then put the art on, and then it's like, oh man, now it's like even better. So we don't like kind of cut corners by just making things really pretty and juicy and convincing ourselves it's a fun game. So yeah, right now just working on, is it fun to select your spawn position, to select your skill? Different skills open different doors, and then hit go and watch it happen. And there should be coordination. Like that's the idea, is like you work with your teammates. It's a multiplayer game. Different people can do different things. Yeah, right now the biggest weakness is the level design. Like I've changed the mechanics so many times since this level was made that it no longer really works. But yeah. Okay, so let me fix these walls because they're problematic. Actually, I think it's easier to look at the game view. Did I paste 2 of these? Sure did. Just 2 though, right? Yeah, okay. It does totally block your view though from that one. So I wonder in that case if we just... Brother's also a game developer. Indie game guys has 2 personas: one worker to make a job, second to make... Yeah, no, that's actually totally a cool way to go. That's kind of actually what I do as well. So I have a company called DevHouse. DevHouse does game work for clients. So other game studios hire us to help them build their games. And then Something Special Games is me and my team that work on our own games that we like. And the first one kind of pays for the other one to operate. But the Something Special Games team is often very, very small. We pull from the DevHouse team. And so right now it's just really me working on this particular game. But yeah, this is our kind of passion project right now. Okay, so I'm watching the other screen. It's hard to show you guys both at the same time, but that looks decent. I mean, I think this needs to be like that. And then I guess we could do this. And then am I able to just delete? These are all one game object. Bummer. Oh, no, you're good. It's good to have questions because I'm sure other people have similar thoughts, and it keeps things interesting. I know it's probably not always exciting watching me just like code for hours. So I don't mind questions as long as people don't mind that sometimes it takes me a second to respond if I'm not noticing the chat. All right, just trying to line this guy up. One nice thing in Unity, if you hold the V key, it does vertex snapping, so it's easy to line walls up. That is not straight. Let's use math. There we go. I say math. It's not really math. Just let's type the numbers in. That's what I meant. Okay. And now that is starting to look better with in a functionality sort of way. To your question though, if you can buy it somewhere, not yet. This one is coming out hopefully in August. It is not in early access or anything yet. Hope to have you guys playing with me on these streams because it is a streamer friendly game in the coming month or so. Most of the games we've developed are for clients, and we don't have access to like deploy them, or it's kind of out of our hands once we work for them. We have some other games that we got pretty far into development but have had to pause production for one reason or another. We do have a VR game coming out, I think, pretty soon. It's meant to it's like a math kind of game where you like do math stuff in VR and like shoot the right answers, and it's kind of fun. It's like mostly just like a different type of experience in VR. I will talk about it here when that comes out, but that's probably in 2 or 3 weeks that's coming out. Would love for you to play our games on your stream for sure. I wish I had one like right now ready that would be streamer worthy. If you keep hopping in, once we have one that's in a good spot, we'll totally hook you up with keys and all that that you would need to play it. Is this at an angle? No, it looks right. Thought it was rotated like this way. It's looking kind of crazy. I don't love how it's looking because it's kind of blocking our view a little bit. I wonder if we just make these really short, but keep their colliders tall, like that. So that way you won't bounce over it. Like I can make sure the colliders are big, but it just kind of gives you a sense of where things should be. I think I like that idea. Let's give us a little bit of breathing room. I think it was visually kind of crowded. Cool. I don't like the pink very much, but it does stand out, which is nice. Because this is an orthographic view, it is very deceiving. Like that looks spread out way further, but like it's not really. So then the question is like, do we go with what looks right or what is right? Decisions. Okay. And then, yeah, we would lower these down. What are the height of these guys? These are 9.8. Wait. Oh, I was looking at the wrong value. 1.79 something. Okay. Let's put that there. Oh, you guys are floating. We don't want it to float. We want you to be in the ground. Does that mean this other one is floating too? It was floating. Okay. So yeah, we're building it a little more locked in, which I think is a good thing. It does mean that this is something I'm not super sure how I want to handle because I guess we can just do that, which just kind of bumps you into it. It's just not very, it doesn't look very good. It just bugs me. I want to click this guy, but he must be set to not be clickable. Trying to click the score. I bet I called it score. Could find it. Oh yes, yeah, I can. Oh, let's move everything. We don't want that. It's this and this, I guess. Yeah, okay. We'll put that out there. And then really, I just want to copy this and move it to the other side. Well, it keeps clicking on something else, unfortunately. All right, we'll just copy this one specific piece. Oop, what did I just do? So I think if we change this to global, I can just slide it right over. And then if I just invert this to negative, we can get our angles the same. Oh, I see. We need to put it up, not over. So like that. Now this one, I think I can just extend out so it butts up against those. I'll go back to this view. I think it's easier to see what I'm doing here. Is that SP? Looks like the angle's off. Oh, multiplayer, actually. It will be multiplayer. So you will each, if I can click into my other window, where is it hiding? Did I close it? I might have closed something that I shouldn't have closed. Oh, there it is. Okay. So again, placeholder graphics. So try not to look too much into that. But so this is like the main screen. So everyone would have the shared screen. So if we were playing it over like stream, like we would all be seeing this, but then you would have your mobile device with you, and you would have like your own screen, and you could input basically the values. So I'd be like, oh, I want to spawn at position 8, and I'm going to be a hacker, and all right, go. And so yeah, multiplayer. Okay, which one am I trying to move? This guy, let's make him a little more narrow. I think that should work okay. I can live with that. I think that will work. Sweet. And then it looks like I should need one more that will kind of come across this space here. I liked actually how it had this little foot. I thought that looked kind of nice. Why wouldn't it let me? There's always something blocking. Okay, cool. It's those two. Self-taught. I went to school for music, actually. So I was a composer for games for a while, and then I just started like messing around in the Unity editor for like projects I was doing for fun, and using like visual scripting and stuff because I didn't really know how to code. And then I just kind of like started wanting to figure it out, and so I just started Googling things and breaking things until eventually I stopped breaking things so often. So yeah, that's kind of my method. Appreciate it, Blake. How do I rotate this the way I want it to? I want to go that way, but not have it do crazy stuff. Give me the axes I want. It's not going to. I want it to do that. And that's pretty close. I'm sure it's a little diagonal. But I can tweak that individually. If I click on this, I'm sure you should be 0. 137 seems odd. What angle is that? It's that angle. And then what angle is this? So this probably should be 180 even. I'm in the States. I'm in Dallas, Texas. You should be 0. Okay, that should have straightened it all out. I'll back over here. You can see it's kind of looking normal-ish. It's not perfect, but we are aiming for not perfection right now. I do need to shorten this wall. It's so funny. Sometimes the T key works really, really well for like grabbing one axis and moving it just from that side, but like sometimes not so much. So we will just have to shrink and slide. That was way too much. That looks maybe acceptable. So let's grab one of these guys. Let's shift you to 90. And drop you into where I need you to be. Same thing over here. All right, so now I got to play the game of guessing. Yeah, it won't be perfect, but I'm hoping it'll be close enough that you won't be able to tell it's off by a smidge. Yeah, I mean, actually, yeah, no, this guy needs to be like way over here. And then that means this diagonal needs to be extended. Okay, that seems close. Now let's just get rid of these pegs that are in no man's land that no one can ever hit. And even these ones that are like touching the wall, we can get players stuck on those, which we don't like to do. There's a small chance that they can slip by, but I can live with that. Let's get rid of you as well. Cool. I probably should fill these areas out, but that would be a little tedious. So I think. Oh, I just looked over at our little streamer avatars, and I feel like there should be more based on the chat. So if you don't have a little raccoon, I'm sorry, I don't know where they're hiding, because you should totally have one. But yeah, there's a lot we could do to get to those corners, filling them out with the pegs, all that good stuff. But we are going to leave it for now. Let's save. I know where. Oh, you know what it is? I think it's. I don't think Kick is connected to stream avatars. I think I tried to connect it. It didn't work, or maybe it didn't support Kick, or something happened. I think it's connected to YouTube and Twitch, and so those two channels will spawn in. But Mr. Tiago totally chatted, but maybe because it was emojis. I don't know. I'm still learning how stream avatars work. Okay, so I'm fairly content. Let's play with some colors, just because like I think these colors really suck. Oh, we also need to make sure these all have colliders on them. I'm a little worried that these colliders are not correct. There was like some extra walls in there, it looked like. You can just go away. Where was the other? There's like another weird wall I saw. Yeah, you. Okay. Now I think it's only walls I actually care about, and then I can just go into here and just like make them giant. So you can't possibly fly over them. And then yeah, color. Let's make them a little bit more. I mean, like again, it's placeholder, but I have a really hard time if it's like really, really ugly or like really distracting. It distracts me from development. So I think white's fine, honestly. I think white's fine. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Oh wow, that is super early. 6:29 in the morning. I can't tell if you were up ultra late or you woke up really early. Okay, so let me check my list, see if there's anything else small that would be worth knocking out. Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely get some sleep. That is really late to be still up. Let me pop open here. So yeah, this is the thing that got done actually before I started the stream. Resetting. So once you launch a ball, you can launch another. I don't have the bonus for doing a good job yet. Tasks in order. We just did this. We just added more pegs on the exit, and we made walls. Lineup. Okay, let's do this. Lineup instances with spawn point positions. Okay, so we want the spawns, instead of it being staggered, or not staggered, but like 2 rows, we're gonna make a single row, which actually should be super, super fast. So let's do it. Let's knock that out. So what I have right now on these groups is a grid layout group. And so I can set it, I think, to be fixed column count. I think I just want 1 column like that. And then now obviously there's 2 spread out. So we will shrink. Why are you being difficult? Cell size? No, you're just gonna be a pain. Oh, it's on the Y? Why is that? That totally seems like it should be X, but hey. Okie dokie. Feels a little crowded. I kind of wish it could be like that. Downside is I have to redo my walls that I just made, which is kind of a bummer. But I think, okay, alternative. Let's shrink it to where it fits, and then let's just make these objects smaller. Let's do that. I hope they're not too small to read when you're like looking at the TV screen, but and then also like this window that it's inside of needs to be bigger. I have to figure out what that is though. Who are you? You are that. So that means you. Okay, here we go. So let's extend this a little bit. Yeah, it works fine, I guess. And now I kind of just want to move that whole thing back a touch, right? It's like, it feels like it just fit inside of this little entrance, but oh, that bothers me a ton. Look at that. That does not line up. Let's fix that. I see the problem, because if I line that up there, then I need to do this, but then that doesn't line up. We'll just work our way around and hope that it works itself out. That's pretty close. Maybe it needs to be a touch more. Okay. That looks decent. It's a little wide now. Like we don't need this thing so deep anymore because it's just a single row. So we could totally pull it back a little. Where is the outer square? Tighten that a little. Is this... I feel like it's stretched kind of in a not so attractive way. Whatever. It's fine. We could take these arrows. Let's go back in here so y'all see what I'm up to. Slide them back. So yeah, that's the idea, is that now instead of you kind of just having random chance, we would kind of line up, and there'd be like maybe very specific entrances, or like there'd be a little arch. There'd be like a little arch over here that you could be like, oh, if I launch at 1, I'm going to hit that arch and it'll send me over here. And so you can really like plan your attack points, I guess, so to speak. Because before it was like totally like 80% random. And that caused people to feel like they didn't have enough choice at the beginning. I don't know why some of these are like way up. Okie dokie. So now we have to do it to this one too. Okay. I should just copy the values from the other one. It's group A. So what's your oh god, your weird numbers. 27.29 is 16.2. 27.29. Let's start with that. 27.29. And then what was the other one? 16.2. Okay, and then the cell size is 0.76. Okay. And then we need the box itself. We'll copy the scale. Working on the spawn point stock. We are trying to get the idea that like before, I just changed it, but there was like 2 rows and you'd pick where your spawn point was and you would launch in, but there was really no point in ever being in the back row. So now we're moving them all to a single row. And so when you pick your spawn point, you can visually like track like, all right, I'm going to be the lockpick. So I'm going to go attack the locked door and I'm going to be red. So you can like have a lot more strategy with picking your skill and lining it up with like the entrance. Now, once you're in the house, once your heist begins, you know, you've like infiltrated, you're going to run into all sorts of things, right? And so it's sort of like how a heist would be, right? It's like you can case the joint all you want, you can anticipate what entrances you'll take, but once the heist starts and you're inside, like things happen and you have to adapt. So that's the idea. We'll see how it feels. But some internal testing got the feedback that people wanted to just be launching from a single row. So making the spawn points do that. Okay, so getting... I think I've copied. Let's see. Nope. Okay. We want to copy, and then let's go to this one. Is it here? Let's see if this works. Yeah. Okay. And then let's just to be consistent, we'll copy and paste from the other one and put it into here. Okay. Robbery Bob, is that a game? I don't know Robbery Bob, but I am intrigued if that is a game, and I will Google it. But it also just sounds like a fun way to talk about robberies. You know, just robbery bobbing around. Okay, I need to recenter this whole thing. Looks like we want to shift that back a little so there's room for those arrows. I feel like this one is wider, but we just copy pasted, so it shouldn't be. Then we move these back. And they should be a little more centered. There we go. And honestly, that looks better to me too. Like the scale of everything, it's not taking up so much space on the screen, which I kind of like. My curiosity is spiked with this Bob thing. I gotta look it up. Oh, it is a game. I do not know Robbery Bob. I'm clicking. Ooh, this is going to be a good one to look at. One thing that I started looking at when designing, like early days of, which was like 2.5 months ago, but like when I started thinking about making a heist game, is like the difference between a robbery and a heist. So I think of a robbery as like guns blazing, you break in, you steal a bunch of stuff, right? You're like you're trying to get a money quantity or like a quantity of things for a lot of money. When I think heist, I think it's very sequence oriented. It's like, all right, we got to do this and then this, and it's very clever, and you're normally going after like one special item, and so that's something that's like there's not a lot of games. In fact, I really struggled finding any game that was really a heist. Monaco was like thought of as a heist game, but when you play it, you're not really. It doesn't feel very heist-like to me, anyway. Now, who knows? When we finish this, it might be fun and not feel very heist-like either. But the goal is to make it feel closer to a heist and less like a robbery. But I'm totally going to play this Robbery Bob. I'm going to add it to my wish list right now. It's only $8 too, so I'll totally get it. But I don't want to have to go through buying it while streaming, so I'll just add to wish list. It's cool. Has like it's almost like the Hotline Miami perspective. You can go in toilets. That's amazing. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's make sure they like go where they're supposed to go and we instantiate and spawn our players. They should though, but just safe. All right, let me click in on the spawn button. Sweet, works perfectly. And they don't block the numbers, which is good. I was worried when we shrunk the spaces that they would spawn on top of the numbers and you wouldn't be able to see them. They're a little small, but they work. Oh, I didn't put any of the right classes in place. So you can see like pink and green and white. None of those match the colors there, so they cannot open the doors. And here we have a red, but he was not lined up. So if I hit escape, let's shuffle these guys around. Now we have 3. Now the lines aren't super great with this level design. Oh, it's free on mobile. Heck yeah. I will try that. You can see this line. It looks like it should line up, right? And then here, none of these guys are going to do well because none of them can open that door. I don't have a way to individually change these. These would be real players and they would know better. For now, just to show you, free launch. He'll pop that door open and they'll pop that window open because, again, the colors match. That was a really great selection because then he had 3 of them. He could open more doors. And yeah, and then basically yellow will be scoring points. I just noticed my score is not working. They should all be getting points. Hey, Noah, thanks for dropping in. I just found a bug that totally feels bad. Now, previously they would bump these pegs and they would like have all these juicy, cool, flashy things. You get points. None of that's happening. So let's solve that. I'm totally doing way more on the stream tonight planned, but making good momentum. So I'm going to keep that going. I need to do like, I bet there's a way to automate little pop-ups now and again. But if anyone wants to, let's see, I need to find it again. Like join our Discord. This is a community Discord where it's just like a game development community, but me and the team who works on this game, it's the Discord that we hang out in. So it's, yeah, Game Developers of Dallas. So feel free to join if y'all want We do updates in there, so there's like announcements whenever I go live on stream. Yeah. Yeah. So this level design kind of sucks, to be honest. So I was working with someone on this, and the mechanics used to be totally different when they made the level design, and now it's like, yeah, you have to be those colors. But here's the thing: there's multiple. You get four. Currently, you get four passes, so like 4 turns. So in theory, the first turn, yeah, everyone could pick red and yellow to like break into the outside of the house, or if you work as a team, yeah, if someone can pick, a single person can pick red, and you could pick blue, for example, which are like, will eventually be like laser traps. You wait for them because you don't have to launch at the same time. I just have that set up on a debug, and so like they launch red, and a moment later you launch blue, and then you wait for them. They go through the door first, and then you're free to get in. So I think it'll. The hope is that people coordinate, and we might have to build in more mechanics to make them realize that that's the way to play. But yeah, you can totally all just launch with the red and yellow colors at the beginning, or yeah, like, hey, you be red, Bob, and like, you take turns. Oh, sorry, you're sick, Noah. That's no fun. I like your dog emoji. I assume that's your like actual dog that you turned into an emoji, which is awesome. Okay, so all of that is working, and I forgot what we were changing. Oh yeah, we're fixing the score bug because we want score. I had a null ref on that object. Let's see. Okay, object where it's not set to an instance of object. Yeah, that'll be a interesting discovery if people don't coordinate. Because I was trying to think in a heist, it's all about teamwork, right? Like you kind of have to work as a crew. Now you can have someone who's like trying to be selfish and looking out for themselves, and I want to build that mechanic in. But I want to find a way to get people to coordinate. We had another version where you would actually like draw on your phone, you like draw a path over a blueprint, and then your avatar would like just follow that exact path. But people would plan for like 5 minutes before they hit go, and it was just tedious. And it was like, this isn't fun. I don't like waiting 5 minutes to see what happens. So it's like a fine balance. Like we want people, if you want to launch, like do it, like go make your turn, have fun. But there's some benefit to working together. Okay, we're getting a null ref at line 36. I assume player logic, because unless player class required is not assigned, it should just default to none though. So we're probably not getting player logic. So whatever's hitting the thing, that's odd though. I feel like that should definitely exist. Why? Yeah, that is odd. Okay, so it has a tag of player. So that's actually a good point, John. I think the main like audience is going to be people playing together, like in local multiplayer, because it like the game is going to be like this screen would be your like television, and you have like a PC hooked up or an Xbox, wherever we release, and it would be displaying something like this. Obviously, it'll look way better. And then on your mobile device, you would have, I can never find the right window. The other version of Unity that I have open somewhere. Where is it? It is hiding from me. Yeah, so you'd have on your phone, you would have this. And so you'd all be in the same room playing together. So hopefully it'd already be your friends and family members and whatnot. And now the other use case is like on a stream like this one, where I would have the big screen up, and then you would have on your phone something like this. And in that case, again, it would be harder to work together. But we're like very actively, like I'm trying really hard not to write something that requires a lot of like synchronous timing based network events. So we're like, I have to like click this. It's like, I don't, it can't be a twitchy game because that's a weird word to use because to be on Twitch, like to be a streamer game, I think if we're going to play it together, like it can't be, you have to react really fast because like the delay and the latency will frustrate people. So it's all about like making the plan and then hitting go. So we'll see. We have to do play testing and figure it out for sure. I don't say I'm like stumped by this bug at all because I've barely started digging into it, but it is odd because the player, sorry, raccoon prefab. It has the player tag, which is what triggers this code block. So we know it has to be a player. And if I go back to Unity and I look at this game object, it has playback gyro movement, which is a script it's looking for. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the name of the game object just to see like who is calling this. See, scoring objects name. Okay, so then now I can see hopefully what is hitting the score object, but is for whatever reason not able to find player logic, which is odd. And this was totally working until recently. So something I did, something I did recently broke this. My guess is it's something to do with the fact I'm spawning players in now before I had them existing already in the scene. So that is probably the problem, but I'm still not sure why. So we'll find out. Okay, so we spawned in the debug players. Now something I can check already on these raccoons, I should be here for you. On these raccoons that spawned in, they are player. These are the things that should be scoring, and they have playback gyro movement. Okay, let's make them go through the course and see what is going on. Once I hit a peg, like a peg is a scoring device. Okay, I'm just gonna hit stop because we've hit at least a few things by now. All right, let's make this guy a little bigger. Not that y'all can see that anyway, probably. Yeah, I think it's an easy fix. I just have to figure out what silly mistake I made. Okay, so the raccoon player hit it, and then immediately. Oh, okay. Check this out. So it actually threw an error here, where it couldn't find something in this line. Now that's probably this. Could be this. Actually, I think it is. Okay, hold on. Let's find the script. So this is score tracker. Yeah, so it's just missing a reference, it looks like. So we just got to find score tracker and give it the references it needs. There's score tracker game object. Yep. So you can see right here, they're all a none. Now here's the slightly tricky part is this was again when like these players already existed in the level, but now we're spawning them in. And who is this and why did they exist? Get out of here. You should not be a person. So we need to add things, maybe. Let's see how this works. So we have to refactor how score tracking works. Okay, score tracker. So whenever something hits, I think we call. Yeah, basically when we collide, I could get rid of this print because that wasn't the problem. Though I swear one time it said it couldn't find this, which is weird, but whatever. Oh, I know why. Because when you get multi-ball, it creates more players, but they don't have this on them. So I need to make a null ref check. If collision does not equals null, then just return. Basically, we don't do any of this stuff if it's No, actually, no, that's not true. We still want to score points if multi-ball comes out. Like your extra ball should still totally score points for you. But it doesn't have this on it. Okay, that's a separate problem that I know how to fix. Let's say multi-ball players don't score, so we need to add their class type as an option. So I'll come back to that. But first, let's just solve a single player. I'm already forgetting what that fix was, which is why I'm like, I should write down the other problem, so I'm not trying to solve two at once. Oh, right. We need to, this wants the player score.text. Player logic. Oh, right. It doesn't have the player logic. Why does it need that? Oh, that's just to print the value like this. Okay, we aren't even doing that actually. Like those are hidden game objects. So that's fine. We just comment them out. Yeah, we don't need that at all. So now at least the main player should score points. Let's make sure that's working. Okay, we'll go and we'll spawn in some players. We will shuffle the colors, get us some reds and yellows in there. I think that red should hit. That should be a good, decent run. Okay, still getting no points. Peculiar. And oddly, I'm not getting a ton of errors either. The plot thickens for sure. Yeah, this is all an issue where it can't find the network name, so those can be ignored. Interesting. Okay, so let's go back to our code. We should be adding the score earned. And the group score is there. Interesting. Why are you being difficult? Oh, I didn't save it. So who knows what weird changes were in here. So yeah, maybe just something was funky in here because this was unsaved. But yeah, so if we collide, this should work. But also, I don't think I changed anything that should have like totally broken that before. So I'm a little skeptical. Okay, let's spawn our players in. Okay, let's see if we get some points. No. All right, let's put some prints. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. I would have expected to see some null refs come up, but yeah. Let's see. Collision. Object. Name. Let's hit scoring item. Okay, so then we'll know at least that the collision happened. So that's the first step. And then let's do, let's just say player has hit scoring object. And then let's just do found player logic. I know like I should totally do breakpoints, but I prefer print statements because I'm just weird like that. And then finally, we should be creating score text. Let's just see where we get to in here. And if we get all the way through, then weird. Then we have to figure out what's going on. Actually, you know what? Let's make one more because at points is where we were having the errors before. So let's make sure print adding score earned to player ID. And then finally, let's do group score. And then that can be group score. Okay. This should give us enough information, hopefully, figure out what's going on. There's a possibility maybe that I copied some of these objects and they don't have the scoring tag on them. Because I keep assuming that right in this entryway, yeah, no, you have score object on you. I should just make the door have a score object. That would be a faster test. There's a bunch of windows there. Those yellows should get through. Okay. We got lots of stuff going. Multi-ball causes all sorts of problems, so I should probably turn those off if I keep having trouble, but okay, player clone has hit an item. Should have paused it instead of stopped it so I could have looked into these objects. Oh, here we go. Adding 50 to player 1. Group score is now 500. And what is this? Null ref. That's weird. So the group score is going up. But I didn't see it actually. Is my score just not on? But like all these different things are supposed to happen. Like there's supposed to be a number that generates over the head. So like, why is all of that increasing the score? I'm not getting. So if we come over here to the code, we are getting to add points for sure because it's printing. If we follow it through, it's printing this line, and it seems to get all the way through adding the score. But then if we go back, this is all just one call. It's just spread out because there's a lot of arguments you pass. So the scaling parent, this is a whole like messy thing I do because the model root objects were all messed up. Let's assume, I mean, either way, like something should happen. We need to check. So like this isn't being called as far as I can tell. That's not being called. None of this is being called. Okay, let me try something. Let's just make this door a scoring object. Well, actually, no. I want to leave it as pegs. I'll just get a bunch of pegs and throw them in front of the spawn point. All right, we'll just take these. We'll just throw them here. And these should all have scoring objects, except they all have scoring objects. Player class required. That I think is okay. None. So all of these pegs should be, okay. So I think the enum changed. I never know if I want to say it. I think enum is the right way to say it, but enum feels better. So you hear me flip flop. I think I added a value in here, and these should have been set to none, but now they're on transporter. So yeah, that is the problem with the pegs. And now I have to go through every peg. Thankfully, they're all under one parent. Hopefully, these are all actually pegs, because I think sometimes things got put in the wrong place. You don't all have scoring objects. What? Just that one. Okay. None. Who are you? You are random. Okay. That should fix it. I think that's what it was. But the multi-ball still will not score. So that needs to be addressed separately. All right. So now we should get the fun scoring point stuff. We need some better skills. There we go. Only red will get in. That's all right. We should get points at least. Hey, there we go. Now they're scoring points. I think what I might do, what might be kind of fun, is to have them take longer to decolor, so you can see like a trail where your ball has been. I think that might be kind of fun. So that should be a pretty easy change. Right here is where we're changing the color. So we're saying on complete, change back, but I can set a delay, and let's wait like 2 seconds, which is kind of a long time. Like I think that'll be pretty good. Makes you excited for the, because someone recommended like, oh, what if they just stay the color of what hit them? But the colors tell you things like, oh, if you're that color, you can break through that. So I don't want people having the wrong impression that the pegs are like destructible or something. Sure, let's try this. Maybe it would be better if it stayed a little longer. It is relatively satisfying. Let's make it stay for like 10 seconds. That's like a really long time. Ooh, I like that front door attack. We got 2 lockpicks and a grease man. Seems okay. I don't know if it adds like a ton, honestly, but it's okay. Something that's been bugging me is there is a pegs in this wall, which I do not like. Go. Oh shoot! I didn't notice that when I dragged over these to the start. I actually removed them from there. I thought I just copy pasted, so that's unfortunate. Let's try to replace these in a somewhat. Hey, I'm gonna have to do some manual labor to replace them fully. Bummer. Well, actually, I think I can just undo. No. Actually, I can't, because then I'll undo the change I made to the pegs. Trying to get these in a way I can select them all without selecting other stuff. Yeah, got most of them. That's close. Then we can just do a little bit of touch up. I don't like these way down there. That's close enough. Then we'll just delete. We have some stragglers over here that we do not want. Oh, those are like doubled up. Oh wow, there's two of everything here. It's like there's a little peg there. We don't want you, peg. Get out of here. Okay. Now our score seems to be fixed. We should make these things worth points for the class that can open them. So if the lockpick is here, he should get, like 1,000 points or something for opening that up. That's like their special thing. And that'll be true for any of these red doors. Yeah, I'll just have to do one at a time. Lockpick. Just remembered I can totally, these are like in a, ooh, okay, hold on. Let's make sure we're picking the parent objects here. In fact, yeah, we don't even want these to have children objects. All right, so those are the doors. What are these? You guys need to go away. Oh, no, you don't. You just got put in the wrong spot. You don't have a score? Man, some of these got missed. Okay, and then finally, let's just make sure. Yeah, see, this one didn't get one. Where are you at? You're that door. Okay, so those are all the doors. Let's do what we call breakable walls or windows. Do them all at once. I realize it would save a lot of time. Also 1,000, but now it will require the grease man who slips through the windows. And then the lasers. This will also be a score object for 1,000 points, but you have to be the hacker to break the lasers. And I think that's it because the inner these like purple couches and stuff they already I think have that functionality on them. Cool. There was another. Oh yeah, the scoring logic. I do want to have it scale the object even bigger if it's a higher value. So we'll say else if score value is greater than 500. We'll say 750. Just yeah, whatever. And then that will be like a 5 times multiplier, so like a little bigger. All right, so let's do a test, and then I think we'll call it if this works. It was an extra long stream tonight. Feels that way. Maybe I'm just tired. All right, so let's spawn our people in. All right, let's see. Yeah, 1,000. And no one else scored any points. Oh, that's interesting. There's a path that they can like totally fall off. And this guy's just caught on a peg forever. He's just scoring 25 points till the end of time. Cool. Okay, that worked. So then if we just hop back to our list, we can check that off. Feel good about that. We lined up the spawn. Yeah, one row. Well, sort of lined up. I mean, that's gonna be a level design thing, but one row of spawn points. Moving pieces. I don't remember what that was. Oh, I think actually I don't know. Oh yeah, that was like moving obstacles in the level. I'm going to rename that to moving obstacles. A scout class. That is a class that will reveal certain things, and we TBD on like when I'll get to that, but hopefully soon. But the house maybe has like fog of war, and the scout will reveal it, which I think could be pretty cool. And the scout will get points for that, just like the other classes get points for like opening doors or breaking through windows. I like the idea of a petty thief role. I think that could be interesting, where you take points from other players. So maybe every time you bump another player, you get a lot of points, and maybe they lose points. I think that sounds kind of fun. Or actually, that could be two different things maybe. So there's like the petty thief gets points for taking stuff, or taking from other players. That could be interesting because we could have a petty thief who just like gets points for everything. Like they bump into things, they get little points. So she's like, hey, I just want points. Just give me points. And then we could have another role who's like maybe like a backstabber role. I don't know, backstabber role. Could get points for that. Stuff from house. Yeah, so that way, basically you can be like, I want more points. I'm going to go through the house and get a bunch of points, or like I'm going to take from other players, and that doesn't actually increase our overall points, but I get more points faster because we have like a shared collective point counter, but we're also tracking your individual points. And then the fog of war could be cool. It could just be annoying. I think it'd be neat if there's a class that reveals it, so you have to like choose when to reveal versus when to just take your chances. So anyway, I think that's a good place to stop. We actually got a lot of stuff done. The main thing we did today was like getting the debug stuff working. So once we changed to player spawn versus like players already in scene, that broke all of our debug. And so now I can spawn fake players in and test with them, which was a big deal. But yeah, also got like new spawning locations. you know, we have these nice single rows. We added the extra pegs at the end. We fixed scoring, which got totally busted. So yeah, a lot done today. Appreciate everyone who came by and hung out for the stream. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and I might be on tomorrow, but if not tomorrow.